Reuse is really important for us.
Simple is generally cheaper and more reliable.
And faster.
That's right.
Easier to build, easier to maintain, easier to understand.
What's an example of where we've actually simplified our architecture and have had some quick wins?
CRM.
Yes, CRM.
So we've established a platform to build onto, and so there's no need to go out and establish that platform, buy servers, buy equipment. We simply extend what we already have.
What about in our, that's a great example, thank you, Mike. What about in our operations, our infrastructure? What's an example of how we've simplified our architecture?
I think two things, SVE.
SVE is a great example.
What we had before was a really decentralized, each server on its own, not coupled to center, and went to a very centralized platform that you can manage as all the hosts at once rather than each host as an individual, so that you can definitely get a lot of scale there from a manageability and operation standpoint. From a skill set standpoint, you can focus in on having a few people with high skill sets rather than having to have so many server and compute operators that we did in the past. We've seen that shift.
All right, how many VMs do we have?
Yeah, 760 north of 760.
In the SVE, so think about that.
I think if you look at the simplicity from a customer perspective, that if we, and not customer being the end user, but a customer being like us, if you need a server, you can have it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You don't have to do an RFP. You don't have to go through all that process. You don't have to have somebody engineer how it's going to be and figure all that out. You just have a server tomorrow.
And you pretty much know what the cost is, too.
And you know what the cost is,
Yeah.
unless it's unusual.
Yeah.
So why is UC, well, what do we have before UC and what do we have now? And why is that a more simplified platform?
Well, it's simplified in, like in end user perspective. If I need to move my phone, I just move my phone. I don't have to wait for the phone company to come for a week to move my phone. I just move it.
That's one of the
Plug it back in.
Standard video conferencing, right? We don't have 10 different video conference solutions. We have Skype for Business.
It's basically all in one.
Yeah.
For anything you want to do, for your quick IMs, for your quick meetings, for a whiteboard or playground for your team if you're having a quick team thing, but people want to share ideas quickly with each other, for doing interviews and not having to bring people in from, have them pay travel or go through even Seattle commute time to do some initial interviews, for the easy videoing instead of the huge video conference rooms that had to be set up. It's a one-stop catch-all for anything that you need to communicate.
There's one real simple thing that's easy to forget for me, but we used to have two different networks. So we had a voice network and a data network, and now we've just got one network. And since everything's on one network, you can start integrating things a lot more easily.
Right.
You couldn't integrate voice into your applications before. You can do it now.
I think there's the value add, right, where new abilities we didn't have before, with the simplification pieces, or to echo John, or those, and how about all the PBXs that had to be individually managed around King County, each building, and now we just have one centralized deployment that we need to focus on, which is a